Hi and welcome to Outdoors with Richard. So today I'm taking a closer look at the Hilleberg Soulo Black Label. Now this is a high-end tent with high-end specs, but it also comes with a high-end price tag. Currently here in the UK, this tent sells for £1,110, and that doesn't include the footprint. If you purchase the footprint for this tent, it's going to cost you an extra £90, taking your total cost to £1,200. Now that's an awful lot of money. So should you buy this tent? Let's take a closer look and see what we get for our money. So if you purchase this tent, everything you get comes in a really well-made drawstring oversized storage bag. Now I love the fact that this storage bag is oversized because it makes getting everything out and then back in again quick and easy. Now when everything you get with this tent is in the storage bag, the length comes in at around 43 centimeters and the width comes in at around 17 centimeters. Now when it comes to the packed weight, so the storage bag, your tent, your poles, your pegs, etc., the packed weight comes in at around 2.8 kilograms. However, that doesn't include a footprint. If you add a footprint to the packed weight, you're going to add an extra 228 grams. All right, you then obviously get your tent. Now the inner tent is already connected to the outer fly, and all your guy lines come already attached to this tent. You then get a tent pole storage bag which houses one DAC 10mm aluminium repair pole sleeve should you need it. You then get a further 3 DAC 10mm aluminium tent poles, and then you get your ground peg storage bag which houses 12 DAC hardened aluminium Y pegs. Now when it comes to pitching this tent, Hilleberg have their own video on how to pitch this tent, and it is by far the best and clearest video on how to pitch this tent correctly. So what I'm going to do is leave the link to that video in the description below. But let's move on to first impressions of this tent. This is a really nice looking tent. Now if you are interested in buying this tent, it comes in a choice of 3 colors. I've gone for it in a really nice sand color, but it comes in a red and it also comes in a dark green. Now this tent is a outer pitch first, which is great. So at least you know that if it's raining, your inner tent is not going to get wet. It also is a freestanding tent, which means that when you've pitched it, if you need to move it, you can literally pick the tent up and move it where you want. Also, the footprint on this tent is quite small, so you can pitch it pretty much anywhere. Now, I've just put this tent on an oversized footprint just for the purpose of this video because it's pretty muddy around here and it just saves me cleaning the base of this tent when I'm finished filming. Now, when it comes to this tent, it is a dome tent. Now, dome tents do perform really well in the rain and the snow. If it rains, you won't get any water pooling on the tent. It'll simply just run down the sides. With regards to snow loading, any snow that gets on this tent will simply just slide straight off. Now this tent is not a symmetrical tent. It's slightly narrower down the foot end, which is on my left hand side, and that's the end you would face into the wind. So if the wind picks up, this tent will perform at its best. Now on the top of the tent here, you do have a rain fly, and if I just undo this rain fly, underneath here you've got a little vent. Now if you don't open the vent, air will still be able to get inside the tent, but this vent won't allow any rain or snow to get in. Now if it's a really nice day, you could take off your rain vent and then just open up this little air vent. This little piece of fabric can be rolled and toggled down. I'm not going to do that now. And then you could just leave this open and get maximum air in your tent. However, if it's raining, it's not a great day, you could still leave this open and then just put your rain vent back over the top. Now, I've opened this little vent from the outside, but you do have access to opening this little air vent from the inside. Right, I'm just going to cover that back over quickly like that. Also, with that little vent being open, apart from giving you a nice bit of airflow, it'll also help reduce any condensation. Now, looking at the fabric of this tent, the outer fly is made from a Kurlon 1800, which is a 40 denier high tenacity ripstop nylon. It has a hydrostatic head rating of 5,500 millimeters, which is more than waterproof. However, to make sure it's 100% waterproof, they have silicone coated the fly twice on the outside and once on the inside. Now, also the Kurlon 1800 has a minimum tear strength of 18 kilograms, so it is really strong. Now, this is a 4-season tent, and one of the factors you can see with regards to why it's a 4-season tent is, as you can see, the outer fly goes all the way to the ground, so it's not going to let any rain or any wind or any snow underneath this tent. Now, coming round to the front here, you just have the one single door to get into the tent. Now, over the zip here, do you want to come around and have a look? Over the zip, there is a nice storm flap to protect the zip. Now, all the zips on this tent are made by YKK, which are anti-snag zips. So they're strong zips, they smooth zips, and they don't snag. Now, opening this outer door up, you can simply just roll it back and toggle it up. I'm going to do that now so we can have a look at the vestibule inside. Now, when it comes to the vestibule, it's a really decent size vestibule. At the widest point, it's around 50 centimeters, so it's plenty big enough to store some stuff, but also to do some cooking in. Now, when we look at the inner fabric of the inner tent, the inner fabric is made from a 40 denier ripstop nylon. It has also been coated with a durable water repellent coating. So if you were to open your outer door and it was raining and a bit of rain went onto your inner tent, at least it's not going to go right into the sleeping area of your tent. Now, when it comes to the inner door, you actually have 3 zips, one down the middle and one each side. So it's like an upside down T. Now, when you open your inner door, you can either roll the side doors back individually and toggle them back, or you can roll and toggle them both back. Now, on the inside of this left hand door, there is a fabric panel at the back that you can unzip. It then drops down, it can then be toggled up at the bottom, and that's then going to give you a really nice little mesh window, which is made out of a no-seam mesh. Now, with that back panel dropped down and that mesh window exposed, it's going to give you maximum airflow, but also it's going to help reduce any condensation. Right, I'm going to open up the tent here, get inside. I will show you what the mesh window looks like when I've dropped that back fabric panel down, and then I will tell you a little bit more and give you the specs on the inside of this tent. Here in the tent, as I said, you do have a fabric panel on the inside. There are 2 zips, and if you undo this inner fabric panel, this piece of fabric will drop down. This can then be rolled up and toggled at the bottom, and then, as I said, it gives you a really nice mesh window, which, as I said, is going to give you maximum airflow and also definitely help reduce any condensation. Right, I'm going to roll both these doors back so we can have a good look inside the tent. When it comes to the internal of this tent, starting with the bathtub floor. Now, the bathtub floor has been polyurethane coated 3 times. It not only helps with the waterproofing of this floor, but it also helps keep it highly abrasion and resistant. Now, the hydrostatic head rating on this bathtub floor is a very impressive 20,000 millimeters. So no water is going to be getting into the base of this tent. Now, when it comes to the size of the internal tent, the length of the internal tent comes in at 225 centimeters. The width at the head end here comes in at 73 centimeters. The width at the far end, which is the foot end, comes in at 63 centimeters, and then the width at the widest point, which is in the middle here, comes in at 105 centimeters. Now when it comes to the height of the tent, from the floor of the tent to the ceiling, comes in at 95 centimeters. Now I'm 6'2", and my head doesn't touch the ceiling. Even when I'm sat on a 4-season sleep system, my head doesn't touch the ceiling. I know someone who has the exact same tent. They're 6'3", and their head doesn't touch the ceiling. So if you're shorter than 6'3", even with your sleep system and everything, your head's not going to touch the ceiling. So it is a decent size bit of room in this tent for one person, big enough for yourself to sit up, move around, get changed in, without being too small. Now, on the inside of the tent as well, at the head end here, you get a couple of little storage pockets should you need them, and not that you can see them, but on the ceiling you get a few little nylon loops where you can either hang your camping lamp on, or you can simply run a little line and you can hang a little bit of damp clothing on there if you want. Right, that's the inside of the tent. Now I'm going to give you my final thoughts on this tent, and also answer the question, should you buy this tent? Personally, I love this tent. Yes, it's an expensive tent, but it is a high-end tent and it does have high-end specs. And you know, when the weather turns really nasty, this tent is a bomb shelter. This tent is going to keep you safe, it's going to keep you warm, and it's going to keep you dry. And for me, that gives me peace of mind. So on that basis, it is definitely worth the price tag. Now, I know there are other tents out there that are amazing tents, that are 4-season tents, that are more than capable, and I know are a lot less money than this. And some people will prefer those tents, and that's absolutely fine. But for me, I am a massive Hilleberg fan. I have a few Hilleberg tents. They have never let me down. And as I say, when I'm out and that weather changes, I need the confidence, I need that peace of mind to know that I'm being kept safe, warm and dry. And this tent in particular ticks all those boxes. So for me, that's worth the price tag on its own. Now, I know some people will say, as I've just mentioned, that you can get cheaper tents which will perform probably as well for a lot less money, and that's absolutely fine. It's a matter of choice. We all have opinions, and we also all choose how we spend our money. But for me, I use this tent all year round and in all weathers. So for me, I'm going to say again, it's definitely worth the money. However, if you are thinking of buying this tent, unless you are going to use this tent, and I mean use this tent, unless you're using this tent every week, all year round, I would not pay the price for this tent. There are other tents that would be better suited if you're not camping a lot, or you're mainly a fair weather camper. But for me, this Hilleberg Soulo Black Label is amazing. It is super strong, and for me, it is the ultimate solo tent. But let me know what you think. But on that note, if you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. If you're enjoying the channel, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget, get involved in the comments section below. But until next time, take care. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.